Little girl jumped off the pages of a book and into people, into their hearts.
Eloise, Eloise.
Her name was Eloise, you may recall. And with the help of the superb drawings by Hilary Knight once again, and the genuine inventive genius of the author of the Eloise books, Kay Thompson, Eloise is back with us again.
Who is the little girl who lives at the plaza in New York?
That's me, Eloise. I'm 6. I live on the top floor.
I remember having an awareness of Eloise and feeling very strongly that it was mine, which I've now realized is like a pretty universal feeling. Eloise does what she wants when she wants it, and she doesn't brush her hair, doesn't care that her stomach hangs over her skirt. So there's a lot to relate to when you're a slightly weird child. She has a sense of place and a sense that she deserves to be where she is.
One of the things that I loved about, I'm sure all children did, was the fact that the parents weren't there. She just has the run of the place, and the place she has the run of is the plaza.
That's me, Eloise.
My first real apartment was this dump on 52nd Street. I got many jobs with magazines, Gourmet and Mademoiselle, and that was exactly the time I met Jete Ryan. She had just met Kay Thompson.
Kay Thompson, Katie Kay Thompson, Kay Thompson, Katie Kay Thompson.
Hello, we're having a birthday party.
Our next guest, Kay Thompson, has more sheer drive.
I talked to a friend one day who called. She used to call every Sunday, and she used to be with Harper's Bazaar, and that's a good place to be from. And she called and she said, Kay, darling, I don't want to talk to you. I'd like very much to speak to Eloise.
So I went to the telephone. I said, yes, what is it?
Now, the same Harper's Bazaar girl said, you've got to write it down. And she said, I have the artist who is Hilary Knight, and naturally, you know what happened. I met Hilary Knight.
We went to see Kay Thompson at the Persian Room of the Plaza. It was very specifically worked out in the beginning that it was not to be a children's book. It was labeled an adult book. The New York Times never reviewed it because they didn't know what it was. I think we were both thrilled and mystified that it was so big.
I personally think that Kay began to be resentful that people identified Eloise more with his illustrations than they did with her text.
The things that split us apart accumulated over a period of 5 years. I sense this realization on her part that she would have liked to have done everything.
How many books has he illustrated for other people? And then there's a whole collection of books that he's both written and illustrated. Not to mention the theater posters. And he invested it with an enormous amount of movement, emotion, and wit. But in the end, everybody wants Eloise.
He made something that lasted. Almost nothing lasts. He made a wonderful thing, that endures, and that is really rare.
I never have stopped working, never. I just feel there's a lot more to do.